Oh, hello everybody, it's Megalithic here, otherwise known as Puglo Escobar, and myself and Mr. Raccoon are over here at the Maze Bank offices, don't you know, because today we're going to have a look at a vehicle. Come along, Mr. Raccoon, you know, when you're sorting hell, right, okay, he sort of ran into a wall there, didn't he? Good God, you know, God knows what's gone into him, but he's a crazy raccoon. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. I was don't speak to my secretary. She's recently come blizzardary UFOs in Los Santos, you know. Absolutely ludicrous notion, you know. I mean, only a fool would believe such a thing, might you know, you're an absolute fool for believing it. And if they did come, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure it'd all be peaceful, ladies and gentlemen. Unless, of course, you were flying with a raccoon, in which case you might start an interstellar war, don't you know. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, that's not what we're here to talk about. We are here, indeed, to talk about the Cheval Tiapan, don't you know. Oh my God, yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is unfortunately time to do that video. Okay, so here we are, ladies and gentlemen. The Cheval Tiapan can be found under the legendary motorsport website, and there we go. Okay, we're going to sort of scroll halfway down the page, ladies and gentlemen, to find the wretched thing, and where is it now? Okay, got to be around there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So the Cheval Tiapan, or whatever the hell it's called, retailing for a price of $1,980,000, don't you know? It's a rather steep price tag, but it's sort of what you consider sort of average fare for a supercar nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, well, we're going to go on up the Hillcrest, which is where it is, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Raccoon's going to be taking us there, the Devastate, don't you know, the Prince Effie, and he really doesn't like the Devastate, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, he really doesn't like it, you know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so much so, you know, ask him to drive this Devastate, and that sort of thing is going to happen. He's going to drive you into vehicles and walls all the way there just to prove a point, and now he's running off. Sodding Raccoon's just running off, absolutely just left the car and then he's off or what. I mean, absolutely doesn't care about a damn thing. He really is a wretched swine, you know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, be that as it may, you know, we are here to have a look at the Cheval Tiapan, and here we go. Okay, so what can we say, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, in terms of looks, you know, it's sort of cooler than a sunbathing Eskimo now, isn't it? I mean, it does sort of look the business, you know. It is a supercar, ladies and gentlemen, and there is no doubt from looking at it. So just from sort of the aesthetic qualities alone, ladies and gentlemen, we may be in for a rather interesting ride here. Okay, so there we go. Got no idea what this vehicle's supposed to be based on, ladies and gentlemen, but it does look rather serious, I'm sure you'll agree. Okay, so $2 million ought to buy us something. Let's take it out on the street and see how they handle. Okay, we've got Mr. Raccoon there and an unupgraded Cheval Tiapan myself. I will own this, so it is fully upgraded across the board, it should be pointed out. Already, that is. And we're going to have a look at how they handle through the streets, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and here we go. And right, sodding hell straight away, not particularly willing to a woman. Even Mr. Raccoon sort of hit the boundary there. Okay, I've got in front of me, absolutely fantastic, a sodding car, right? Okay, right, I think you're getting the idea, ladies and gentlemen, aren't you? I mean, it's sort of, it's like a wild pig on roller skates, to be quite frank with you. It's heavy, unstable, and liable to slip out on you at any moment, you know, it's just that bad. In terms of top-end speed, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, hell, hit a truck, yes, in terms of top-end speed, you can see coming down there, I mean, yeah, you know, what can Bob say about it? It's sort of more underperforming than an old man with erectile dysfunction issues, you know. We don't do a stability test, I'm afraid to say, ladies and gentlemen, completely neglect as I'm trying to catch Mr. Raccoon up here, but the stability, I can assure you, is not its strongest point, you know. Now, this car does have a strange sweet spot where if you get the braking and handling right, it can be alright, ladies and gentlemen, but it's very, very difficult to find that sweet spot, and most of the time, you're going to be sliding out just like that. Okay, so yes, acceleration, ladies and gentlemen, you know, it's not, it's not very good, is it? I mean, it's less impressive than a sea lion trying to tap dance. That's the simple truth of it, you know. Okay, well, be that as it may, ladies and gentlemen, we have now completed the initial lap, and we're going to bring it on into we brought it back round to the Maze Bank offices, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Raccoon and I myself is there, so I'm deciding whether we're going to go in or not, and we're going to take the vehicles in. As it turns out, we're going to have them modified, or at least go through the modifications, you know, and then we're going to take it on a standard lap, don't you know. Okay, so that's the Cheval Tiapan, ladies and gentlemen. Like I say, it isn't the unupgraded version. It is actually it has been fully upgraded. upgrade across the board. But either way, we're going to take it on into the custom auto shop now, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to have a look at the modifications. Now, the purpose of this section of this video, ladies and gentlemen, will just be to provide you with the benefit of having a look at the different modifications that can be affected to this vehicle should you then choose to go ahead and purchase it, but we will, as always, be going at double speed just in order to hurry things along somewhat, that's basically the length and the breadth of it. Okay, so what can one say about the Cheval Tiapan? Well, normally we're talking about the unupgraded version, ladies and gentlemen, we go ahead and talk about the upgraded version at the end of this particular section of the video. As it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, like I say, this is already has already been fully upgraded across the board, and so it's sort of a moot point at this point. So what can we say? As I say, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very interesting car, and by interesting I mean baffling. There is, as I say, ladies and gentlemen, as I was saying, we're doing the initial lap, a sweet spot that one can find, whereas if you get the perfect balance between the braking and the handling and the cornering and whatnot, ladies and gentlemen, it is actually it's not too bad. But even under those conditions, ladies and gentlemen, one has to really hit the target sort of very precisely, and absolutely not a competent enough driver to do it on a regular basis. But even if one were, ladies and gentlemen, the vehicle itself still is very heavy, sort of slightly dull handling there. It feels very weighty, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, well, be that as it may, we have now sort of gone through the different modifications, so we're going to take the vehicle onto the street, and so we're going to have a look at how they handle now. So, okay, let's get going, shall we? Okay, so in terms of acceleration, I mean, it's like an inflatable chair with a very small puncture, it's gonna slowly let you down, I'm afraid. In terms of top-end speed, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it's sort of, it's gotta be most sensitive. It's much like a plane crash, you may well be going fast, but the simple truth is you're not going to feel it, if you know what I mean. And in terms of handling, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it's very much like trying to find a tiger's clitoris, I mean, if you hit the sweet spot, you're in for a good time, but if you mess it up, you're going to get very badly mauled, And that's pretty much the length and the breadth of it, It's, in terms of supercars, ladies and gentlemen, it's very much middle of the pack, or perhaps bottom, towards the bottom of the pack, It's not particularly, sort of thrilling to drive, shall we say. Okay, well, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. That being said, we're then going to send it on to the top speed test track and see what she can do. Okay, so here we go. This is the Cheval Tiapan, ladies and gentlemen. Now, to give you an indication, what we consider to be a competitive time to get down this track is around about 53-54 seconds, don't you know? That's what the big SEZ Torno can do, and like I said, we consider to be a sort of a competitive time. So let's see what the Cheval Tiapan can do. So a neck and neck across the line there, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so here we go, waiting, and we get a 55.123. So pretty damn close to competitive, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure you'll agree. I mean, in sort of terms of looks, it's sort of more badass than a biker with a beard and a bottle of bourbon now, isn't it, So actually, let's see it actually perform, ladies and gentlemen. And now the very first car that we're going to bring out, ladies and gentlemen, for any regular viewers may be well aware of what this particular vehicle is. It is the Emperor ETR1, ladies and gentlemen. It is a supercar. It is around about $2 million as well, don't you know? Very similar sort of price range to the Cheval Tiapan, and we're going to see what the Cheval Tiapan can do. Now, we brought this car to start with, ladies and gentlemen, because it's absolutely horrific. Can't do the sodden thing around the track, and yet it is keeping pace with the Tiapan down the back there, and that really is rather worrying, It's retailing for $1,995,000 as it turns out. Very close. So that's whoops a daisies. Do be careful, Mr. Raccoon. Yes, so bad news for the Tiapan there, ladies and gentlemen. Not looking particularly good. Anyway, we're going to move things on. The very next vehicle we're going to bring out is going to be the Ducati Wagner, don't you know? Now I do believe that this particular vehicle retails for around about $1,595,000, ladies and gentlemen, if I'm not mistaken. No, $1,535,000. I should say. A very, very fine car, ladies and gentlemen. It's got absolutely phenomenal handling, ladies and gentlemen, like the Tiapan. Yes, there we go, see it disappearing into the distance. I think I'll take this opportunity to point out that all of the other vehicles are being driven by Mr. Raccoon, He has a general of his own. His name is the Bromby. If you type the Bromby into YouTube, you're going to find him. He's got some rather good videos on there. So the Wagner takes down the Tiapan, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so the next vehicle we're going to bring out, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the Invetero Coquette D10, don't you know? Now, Mr. Raccoon did object, I should point out, ladies and gentlemen, quite strongly when I brought this vehicle out. He said, oh, God, so it's slow, he said. I mean, he knows that I know that he loves it, and he knows that I know he loves it, and I think he really thought I was trying to make a sore point. But it was no such thing, ladies and gentlemen. I was simply curious to see if the D10, because it is a rather fine looking vehicle, could take down the Tiapan. $1,500,000, and I'll tell you what, it did at the last solid minute. How about that? Bloody hell. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, it does turn up the even better O'Cocket D10 can take down the Tiapan, and that really shouldn't have happened, but it did. Okay, so the next vehicle we're going to bring out, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be, oh my good God, this is the Anis Elegy, ladies and gentlemen. It is a free vehicle. It can be found for free on the Rockstar. If one joins the Rockstar Social Club, you know, online, then you can go and pick it up for free. We would recommend you do that. It is a very, very fine car for the money, ladies and gentlemen. But much like the D10, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, down the back straight, it is sat there. And the question is, of course, can it pull off the same trick as what the D10 did there? And it is coming close, ladies and gentlemen, but it's not going to be able to quite do it. So, okay, it can actually take down the free car, the Tiapan there. And thank God at least for that. Okay, so we're going to drop right to the bottom of the price range now, ladies and gentlemen. We thought a rather concerned with the performance of this Cheval Tiapan. So we're going to bring out the Fist of Comet, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the bog standard basic Fist of Comet, retailing for $100,000 only. I do believe I could be wrong on that. I haven't checked in a long, long time, but I do believe how much that is. It's a very fast car for a very cheap car, ladies and gentlemen. And the Cheval performance awfully, ladies and gentlemen. We thought, well, okay, you know, can it actually take down the Tiapan? And you will be relieved to know, ladies and gentlemen, the Cheval Tiapan can at least take down the Fist of Comet. So there we go. It wasn't a million miles behind it, though, was it? As a simple truth. Okay, so the next car we're going to bring out, ladies and gentlemen, we had another Fister. You know, this is the Fister Growler, and we thought to ourselves, well, you know, we're bringing out the Fister Comet, and it sort of lost. So obviously we've got a couple of different choices there to go for from Fister. You can go for the perhaps the SR, we thought, but no, we've gone for the Growler, ladies and gentlemen, retailing for $1.2 or $1.6 million, depending on exactly you know, how many respect points you've got down at the Ellis Street meet there. And actually, ladies and gentlemen, it's surprisingly far behind us, about even further behind us than the standard Comet, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Raccoon did take a bad corner, it's got to be said, but no, the Fister Growler surprisingly can't take down the Tiapan, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so the very next vehicle we're going to bring out is going to be the Visor Neo, $1,875,000, released with Casino Eyes, I do believe. Rather interesting car, ladies and gentlemen, sort of comparable in many ways to the Grotti Itali GTO. Fast in a straight line, very bouncy back end, handling's a little bit iffy, but a very interesting car to drive all the same, you know. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a million miles in front of us. So cheaper car, ladies and gentlemen, but faster, and there we go. Okay, and I think you'll agree, ladies and gentlemen, significantly faster. So yes, the Neo, ladies and gentlemen, takes down the Tiapan. Okay, so the very next vehicle we're going to bring out is with Mr. Raccoon's insistence. I thought it was rather mean-spirited of him, you know. He said, well, I didn't pull out the Bugatti, the Lamborghini Tigon, Mr. Bugdog. I said, well, the Lamborghini Tigon will smash it into the ground. He said, that's the whole point, Mr. Bugdog. I said, well, if you're that spiteful, Mr. Raccoon, you really want to humiliate the Tiapan, let's go ahead and do it. And then, how about that, ladies and gentlemen? I get around the corner in front of him, and I think, oh, well, good God, I did not expect to see that at all, you know. But no, he was just teasing and playing with me, ladies and gentlemen. He comes flying past there. The Lamborghini Tigon, ladies and gentlemen, retailing for $2,310,000, and it absolutely is going to walk all over the Tiapan. Okay, so we're going to start to wrap things up now, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to bring out what we like to refer to as a serious contender. This is for those of you who do not know, for the hoes at home, for the uninitiated, shall we say. The Benefactor Serrano, retailing for $110,000 only, ladies and gentlemen, can be found languishing towards the bottom end of Legendary Motorsport. And yes, there we go. It is the bottom end sports benefactor, I do believe. We call it a serious contender, ladies and gentlemen, because as you can see, it really is a serious contender. And it's sort of crossing the line just behind the $2 million. Whoops, daisies, how about that? Yes, just behind us there. So very close, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so now it is of course time to bring out Big Daddy Z. This is the Pegassi Zentorno, $725,000, and what we uphold on this channel to be a really rather high watermark. Don't start breathing, Mr. Raccoon. Oh God, Terry, as he's taken to doing this recently, ladies and gentlemen, seems to find it amusing, you know. He's so absolutely confident, ladies and gentlemen, in the abilities of the Zentorno. He likes to weave all over the road and prove he doesn't need to go in a straight line to beat this vehicle. And it really is rather irritating, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing more disheartening than being mocked by a Raccoon, I can assure you. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, the Zentorno takes down the Tiapan, and of course that means there is only one more question left now, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, Mr. Raccoon's doing a chicken. So yes, very, very funny, Mr. Raccoon. It's the Grotte Italia RSX, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to make absolute mincemeat of the Cheval Tiapan there. Okay, so what can we say about the Cheval Tiapan, you know? I mean, it's more menacing than Mike Tyson with a machete in terms of its aesthetic stylings. Unfortunately, its acceleration, I mean, it's got all the acceleration of a mammoth struggling to pull itself out of a tar pit, you know? In terms of top speed, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, for $2 million, it's like being slapped in the face with your own underpants, you know? It's shocking, it's unpleasant, and it's going to leave a nasty taste in your mouth. And in terms of handling, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it's like a fat donkey covered in oil. It's heavy, it's slippery, and it's going to kick out at any opportunity it can. And as on, yeah, sorry hell, Mr. Raccoon decided he's going to blow it up before we can start the rabbit, but I insisted we carry on. So, much to his chagrin, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. What can one say about the Cheval Tiapan, ladies and gentlemen? Is it worth buying? No, it really isn't. Like I say, if you can drive it properly, then it has got a sweet spot, but even then, there are many, many more cars that are far. Oh, bloody hell, right, sorry, Raccoon. Yes, well, I do hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching.